The billionaire is a villain. Who would have thought that? It's not like we have a history of media that has shown it. And don't get me started on the heroes. Tony Stark, Batman. So in this video, I want to talk about something that I am surprised hasn't been talked about before. How did Lila actually figure out the identity of Shadow Moth last season? So in this video, I will discuss the different ways Lilia found the identity of Shadow Moth. The first reason for the Shadow Moth identity reveal, and this is something that most people don't notice, but it was shown in the season 1 episode Vulpina, how she figured out Shadow Moth's identity. This is the episode in which we get introduced to Lila and how she started hating on Marinette for telling the truth and called her a liar.
My chances with Adrian? Gone! I hate you, Ladybug! Ugh!
There was actually something important that happened earlier in the episode. Adrian was trying to get close to his dad and actually found his Shadow Moth vault.
Come on, where's the good stuff? I've seen this book somewhere before. But who cares? I'm famished. I need camembert.
Why is my dad keeping this locked in a safe? Hawk Moth? What's this monster doing in a book about superheroes?
The vault had all his Kwame notes that were given to Lila in the Revelation episode.
Revelation. Gabriel Agrest is an alien. He must have other secrets hidden inside his house. You will use your smartphone, not your alliance, to deliver them to me, and then you will erase any trace of that transmission.
Maybe get a better safe, Gabriel. We know you got money since you can fight with Marinette all this time and ignore your $1 million company. So Adrian brings the book to school, and while talking with Lila, it pops out.
Don't you think? What's that?
Nothing. Just stories about superheroes.
Lila actually ends up stealing the book since she thought she could impress Adrian with it.
So... the park? A vixen superheroine? Interesting.
She would return the book to him in the morning, outside school hours, meaning she had the book for at least a day before it got returned. Lila has shown high-level intelligence, whether it be the web of lies or literally having a whole secret personality at a different school.
The war is only just starting. Be ready.
Oh, Cerise, is your movie shoot over?
We didn't think we'd see you again before the end of the school year. Yes! I moved heaven and earth.
You just gave this same girl the Kwame Wiki Clef notes. We know she obviously read the book because she made a fake Kwame necklace that was supposed to look like the Fox Kwame necklace. So she read the book. She would have noticed something. Hey, this Cliff Notes book that has information about Shadow Moth, Ladybug, and Cat Noir, heroes that just appeared recently. Not only that, but this book also has specific info about these superheroes, such as how to give them new abilities such as flight or swimming underwater. If I'm Lila, I'm like, why did Adrian have this? But then remember that he said it belonged to his dad. Then why would a millionaire fashion designer have this book about these superheroes and villains? This leads to two paths for Lila. It's either Gabriel is the biggest fan of Ladybug or that he is somehow involved in all of this, which would make sense to Lila since he would have the resources to do it. Lila is either thinking he might be the leader of the Cat Noir and Ladybug like the guy from Charlie Angels that would send the angels on their mission, or that he is Shadow Moth since he would fit the age to be Shadow Moth or maybe working with Shadow Moth, eventually using her resources to later figure out that Gabriel is Shadow Moth, all cause of an accident to Adrian. It's also possible, but hey, this is Gabriel's book for what I assumed is years. Because of that, it's possible Gabriel wrote notes in the book that may have shown he is Shadow Moth, like circling the Cat Noir and Ladybug Kwames and writing a note such as gotta steal them to bring Emily back to life. So the second way Lila found out the secret is by using an akumatized form of herself to gather data on Gabriel. So I always assumed whenever Gabriel akumatized someone, he forms a mental link with them that allows him to track them wherever they go and whatever they do.
Queen Wasp, I am Hawk Moth. Ladybug and Cat Noir don't want you as their friend, so you will be their most powerful enemy.
But then the season 5 episode of Revelation happened. This was the episode in which Lila tricked Natalie to give her all the Kwame information that Gabriel had. If this link did exist, then she wouldn't have been able to do this. So it's possible she used this form of a non-connection to sneak around without Gabriel knowing. In an earlier episode, when Gabriel akumatized her, remember in the season 3 episode Oni-chan, Adrian and Lila formed a relationship to keep Adrian safe from dangerous outside influences, which is ironic since she was probably the most dangerous influence to Adrian.
I think he needs a friend his age. Someone who understands him, who can protect him from negative influences. Someone you can trust too.
You and I think the same way. See you again very soon, Lila.
See you soon, Mr. Agrest.
Gabriel would promise money and fame. By the time season 5 started going on, Gabriel would try to push a relationship with Kagami and Adrian to form what he called the ultimate couple in history.
Kagami and Adrian will become the eternal icons of this world, and we will be here to witness their absolute triumph!
The result of this would push Lila out of his company pretty much in favor of Kagami. Lila would of course hate this and try to comfort Gabriel about this in the season 5 episode Passion, only for him to permanently kick her out of the company. She would then reveal that she knew Gabriel was Shadow Moth in the end credit. That means she probably found out between the end of season 3 and Oni-chan, when she made the deal, and the season 5 episode Passion. Lila is a smart person and wouldn't have simply let this happen. So here is what I think happened in the show, story-wise. In season 4, Lila would have seen Gabriel having less and less conversations with her, which would have started to bother Lila. She would have wanted to try to make sure this doesn't happen and find some dirt on Gabriel that she could use to leverage against him for whenever he possibly kicks her out or betrays her. Lila is very excellent at getting Gabriel to akumatize her when she ever wanted to, as seen in the season 3 episode Chameleon or season 5 episode Revelation.
I have some new powers for you, Chameleon.
Will you make peace with me?
She could have asked Shadow Moth to akumatize her, and while she's working for him, maybe use her Vulpina powers to create another illusion, or maybe Gabriel or Adrian, so that she can sneak inside his mansion. If Felix could find some clues about him being Shadow Moth, I believe Lila could do it also. So she sneaked around, and while sneaking around, some stuff happened, like maybe she heard Natalie mention it, or thinking the clone is the real Gabriel, Natalie mentioned it in front of her. Lila could have also just seen him as Shadow Moth walking around in Gabriel's house. It doesn't even have to be this. Lilia could have just not trusted Gabriel from the beginning, saying, hey, this guy might not keep his promise, which he technically didn't. If he's not going to keep his promise, let me get this safeguard for myself, just in case something happens, so he won't betray me. The third way the Shadow Moth reveal happened is one of the things that we learned in season 5, besides Marinette and Adrian could date for a season, is Lila is kinda a tech whiz. Let's not forget in the season 5 episode, Revolution, when Kagami's mom Tomo lost her computer.
What is going on here?
Lila was the one who found it and hacked it. This was a computer linked to both her company and Gabriel's company. These are both $1 to billion companies, so the amount of security on them had to be top notch, since these companies don't want to be broken down so easily. She then takes the same computer and hacks into Gabriel's security system of his house to get the butterfly Kwame in the season 5 finale.
Took an interest in him, but in reality, Adrian means nothing to you anymore. You've locked him.
That had to take a lot of skill, or really it's just that Tomo has one of the worst security systems that would be more smooth-brained than Shadow Moth. So it is very safe then to assume she has some technological skills. As stated before, it's possible that when Shadow Moth started to push her less and more with Kagami, she could have started tracking him, like making a small camera that records all of his movements or can hear anything that he is saying. Maybe maybe she even hacked into the cameras outside or in his house and found out he is Shadow Moth. Remember, she had the computer to his company. If you remember also, the Kwame masking that was mentioned in the New York special.
Your suit's quantum masking is meant to confuse human minds, Ladybug. I am not human. What?
I assume only works on site, but doesn't change the person's voice. Maybe she got a recording of Shadow Moth and built this voice analyzer and figured out it's Gabriel, or like Gabriel did with the Alliance rings in the Season 5 episode Jubilation. It's possible she placed a tracker on Gabriel and noticed his strange movements, which just happened to match Shadow Moth's movements, allowing her to figure it out. Pretty much she has Iron Man technological skill and used it to track where and who Shadow Moth might be. So that's the video. Thought I'd do a video on a topic that, when you think about it, weirdly doesn't get mentioned. It's something that even I didn't think about till I sat down and actually thought about it. Knowing my dumbass, there was probably a scene in which they showed Lila finding the identity. It's also possible that they just forgot to explain themselves and needed another reason to speed up the Lilia takeover and the Gabriel dismissal. Hopefully they just don't dumb down her character next season. They kinda need to, because the current Marinette can't win. But it looks like Marinette has also done some maturing too. There was a script leak about a scene from season 6. Adrian was running with another girl in front of Marinette while she was talking to Alia. In the earlier seasons, Marinette is freaking out. Let's not forget in the Gigant Titan episode, she stalked Adrian to the point that she knew the foods he liked, how he liked to sleep and comb his hair. This girl literally recruited her friends into this calculus level plan to just talk to Adrian, like they were about to reroute traffic for Marinette. W progression Marinette. Let's spread some of that, Adrian. So videos are posted every Friday, and shout out to Ladybug's greatest detective. Bye.